This is Rap the News, and you may have asked yourself over and over, when will the war start, and why haven't the World War III started yet? Why haven't it? And today we're going to answer those questions, and we are going to precisely tell you when the war is going to start and how, right? So we're going to start from the beginning. In the beginning, everybody is given choices. Every nation, every color, every creed is given choices. God gives the command, and you have a choice within the decree. So, from the beginning, the Gentiles were given an ultimatum to bless God's people or to curse God's chosen people, to bow or to elevate themselves. They chose the worst of the two. Genesis 27:29. Let the people serve thee, which is the Gentiles, and the nations bow down to you. They chose not to do that. Genesis 12:3. And I will bless them that bless thee. They chose not to do that. And I will curse them that curse thee. They chose to do that. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So everywhere we go, there's a blessing for the nations. Let's keep going, getting into the war. The Gentiles were ordered by God to take his people into slavery, and that they had a time limit to do all that they wanted to do to God's chosen people before he destroyed them all and sent them to hell. Again, they chose the worst of the two. They chose to be cruel and mean and unkind and hateful. They chose that. And so he gave them a time limit. Right? They chose not to bow down to you, because he placed you above the nations and a whole part of his creation when he created you. And you were above the Gentiles from the jump. So he would send them to hell, and they did precisely what God commanded them, knowing the consequences. Again, God ordered the Gentiles then to take his people into slavery, and they had a time limit to have their fun. Do everything that they can do under the sun. Enjoy yourselves. Because he was going to destroy them all and send them to hell. Every last one. And they did precisely what God commanded them, knowing the consequences. They know the consequences of their hate and their rejection of God's people. Revelation 13:5. This is God giving the devil, their brethren, their father, a time limit. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemies, lies, deception. And power was given unto him by who? God. For his time limit. Unto him to continue 42 months. So the devil had a what? A time limit. And you say, Rap the News, some of us have heard this. A lot of us haven't. But we're going to get into the war. So what I do is I add things that you're familiar with, and then I add more things, and you build on to it. Because if you just give all the information all at one time, people can't remember nothing. But if you give them a little bit at a time, they'll remember it piece by piece. Keep going. Revelations 11:2. They sold their birthright. They also sold their position in the paradise to go to hell. The court which is without the temple leave out. They go into hell. That's why I leave them out. They're not going to be measured on the scales. They just go straight to hell. Measure it not. For it is given unto the Gentiles. Who? The Gentiles. Once you speak the truth that they don't speak in the Bible, and they don't speak in the camps, and they don't speak nowhere but right here where Rap the News is talking to you, guess what? It sounds like hate and anger and rage coming from you, when it is the truth, and they hate the truth. That's all it is the truth that they hate. Please tell us the fantasy about Christ being a savior to the Gentiles. Paul of Tarsus telling us the good news. Please tell us about that, Raptor News. That's what we're used to hearing. The lie, the deception, the infiltration of the Bible so that the Gentiles can be at ease before they go to hell. No, it's time to wake up, man. And you got a little bit of time to change this if you can. The holy city shall be tread underfoot for 42 months. Same time Satan had to do what? I'm giving you time to tear down my holy place and to bring under destruction any whom you can from among my chosen people. I'm giving you a time limit. I can tell you the truth about it if you want to know. The people who got cut up, the babies ripped out of them, hung, crucified, and everything else that were among us were Gentiles. That is the truth. The devil and his children cannot touch the chosen man and woman. They may have been taken into bondage. They may have been going through oppression and all of the stress. But guess what? They endured to the end. Right? But the ones who were being destroyed, hung, and crucified, just like the ones being shot in the street dead today, they not us. Even though they look like us, they don't act like us. Because like what? They ain't nothing but savages as well. So not only is the white man treading on us, but the people who look like us is treading on us. We getting it from both fronts. So we paying our dues, Israel. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months, the black ones and the white ones. That is the truth. And you ain't going to hear this truth nowhere but right here. And I'm proving it by the scriptures. Luke 21:24, they will be killed by the sword and sent away as captives to all the nations of the world. And Jerusalem will be trampled down by the Gentiles, black, white, yellow, green, and brown, until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. The 42 months. Time's up. Time is up. So this is God telling you. Genesis 15:12. See, all the Bible connects. It all connects. The whole story pulls together as one big story. And the sun was setting. Abraham fell into a deep sleep, and suddenly great terror and darkness overwhelmed him. Then the Lord said to Abraham, know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not their own, America and the European nations. They will be enslaved and mistreated 400 years. But I will judge the nation. I will judge every nation that they were sent or scattered to. 400 years, know for certain. Deuteronomy 28:68, describing how he wanted the Gentiles to do it. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way where I spake unto you, which he's speaking unto the black man. You shall see it no more again. There shall you be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen, right? For slaves, for captives. And no man shall buy you. What do you mean? I told you it was 3 species. Angels, the jinn, which is the Gentile, and then mankind. The Gentiles, according to the Bible, is known as the beast of the field, the heathen, the Gentile. They have many names, like Iblis, Satan, Lucifer. They're all the same, but they have many names, right? So no man is going to buy you because they're not men. That's why he put that there. It ain't a mistake. What do you mean? Men bought the slaves on the auction. No beast did. So a lot of people don't like that, but it is the truth. And like I said, when you come to Rap the News, you're going to hear it raw, uncut, unedited, like you never heard it before. and it's going to be 100% the dynamic truth. 1619, and it's their time. They made this. This is his story. 2019, time's up, Gentiles. And so the world governments move into the war phase or position. Again, they know time is up. The 42 months is up of slavery, the oppression of God's people, the trodden down of his land. The Gentile devil know that time is up. Why, are you being racist or mean? Or no, I'm being right. That is what you are. Hard to tell people the truth. They want to believe the lie. And watch this. Anybody heard Christ in all of this? He always been there, huh? God don't never change. Christ don't never change, huh? But all of a sudden, Christ is a savior when he wasn't. And this is beginning and end time stuff that we're talking about. Christ wasn't nowhere near the promises and anything else because it's all a fairy tale. You know, Christ didn't come to Abraham and tell him shit. Christ didn't have nothing to do with the slavery, you know, or anything else that we was going to go through. The world awaits the signal from God to begin World War III. So listen carefully, man. God tells the Gentiles to prepare for war, and every nation is doing precisely that. So watch this. He gave you a choice to surrender or pay the consequences. You did not surrender. He gave you a choice to bow and to treat his people nicely. You did not. Right? He gave you a choice to take his people into slavery. You did so. You hated. You destroyed. You chose the evil way as a people. And so you're going to be destroyed and burned as a people. And so now, watch. You think the nations is doing something on their own? The order comes from God. It goes to Satan. And Satan tells the nations, which are under his control. Nope, it's not time to war yet. Now, we're going to give Russia more power. We're going to give this one that, and these one that. These can't have this. All the sanctions and everything is by the devil. Each government is ran by the devil, the shadow government. What is the shadow? It's already mentioned in Ezekiel. All the nations will be under Satan's shadow. That is your shadow government. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Are they not doing that? Wake up the mighty men, which are the soldiers. Let all the mighty men draw near. Let them come up. What do you mean wake them up? I'm waking you up right now. I'm telling you what's really going on. Everybody in the military is going to be destroyed and go to hell. I'm going to say that again. You can let your kids join the military, but every person, according to the scriptures, that in the military is going to be destroyed and go to hell with their weapons of war. And then if you don't hear, fear, and believe God, you're going to know the truth in a second. Watch. God then tells them exactly where to meet him for this war. He said, prepare for war, all you nations. They all preparing for war, ain't they? They're getting their arsenal, their weapons, their missile systems, and everything ready and intact. Then God tells them exactly where to meet him for war. And the Gentiles meet in the precise meeting place called Jehoshaphat between Syria and Israel. What do you think they're doing over there? The world is asking because they dumb. Why are you guys over there? What are we in Syria for anyway? Because God told them to be in Syria. They have no fucking choice. They chose the evil way, and this is the end of the evil route. Joel 3:2. I will also gather all the nations. They have no choice. Because I is in charge, not them. And will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat between Syria and Israel. That's where they at. And I will plead with them there for my people. Because time is up. And for my heritage, Israel. He didn't mention the Gentiles. Where is Jesus at? Where Jesus at? Ain't no Jesus in this, because they know that's a false deity of the nations, a pagan god. And you got all these camps and all these damn places worshiping this pagan god, and then looking at me like I'm crazy for saying what it is. It's a pagan god. Jesus Christ is a pagan god, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Watch this. None of this got nothing to do with no Jesus, do it? Everything's about Jesus. It had nothing to do with Jesus. They want it to be. So they can get out of this 40 and 2 month deal, huh? You can't get out of it. Job 3:12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Look at the devil. Don't want me to highlight it. Let's go back up to it. He gonna do what? He told them to all come down to Syria. And he doing what in Syria? And in the Mediterranean Sea, around that area. He judging them right there and then. How is he judging them? What are they doing over there? Destroying his land and people. Right? That's where he's gonna pick up the remnant, right? Take my people into slavery, but I will judge the nation. Right? Now, all the nations is being what? Judged. Judged. Just like he told them. Now, every nation in the entire world is waiting on the black man to be assembled and lifted out of each nation so they all can begin World War III and annihilate each other. That's the truth. They're all waiting for us to be lifted up. I'm waiting for the nuclear bombs. I'm preparing myself. As soon as you see the light of the black man being lifted up to God and being taken to his own country, his Mount Zion, the war will begin then. Eyes to the sky, huh? Eyes to the sky. Isaiah 11:12. And he shall set up an ensign. That's the sign that the nations is waiting for to begin their war. For the nations shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. We are assembled. Y'all see it. Y'all see us all assembled. Y'all see us coming together. Y'all see it. You have never seen that before in life. You have never seen black people come together in religion like you have today. We assembled. And now we're getting ready to be what? Gathered together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So he's assembling all of us to do what? To lift his chosen ones first. All of Judah ain't going. Just the chosen ones first. And then they will be brought over. Zechariah 9:16. And the Lord their God shall save them in that day as the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. Lifted up. So all can see. What is those lights? That is the black man whom you hated. That's what the light is. Isaiah 18:3. All you inhabitants of the world, you nations, and dwellers on the earth, see you. Don't you see it? Don't you see the light? When he lifted up an ensign on the mountains, and he bloweth a trumpet, hear ye. Don't you hear that trumpet? Don't you see the light? That's your sign to go to war. Every Gentile better have some weapons, because y'all going to be coming for each other. He's going to turn y'all all on each other to destroy each other as a punishment before you go to hell. Let's keep going. Where Jesus at? Ain't no Jesus in this shit, and you know it. Isaiah 63. And the Gentiles shall come up to thy light. The Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. So what are they waiting for? To see the light when you rise up out of this damn hellhole. this God-forsaken place. And it is a God-forsaken place. They waiting to see you lifted out by God. If you don't think the governments all around the world is waiting, was ran by the shadow government of Satan, the Assyrian, as the Bible called him, and Ezekiel, look it up. He's the Assyrian. Devil got so many damn names and hides himself under so many cloaks, huh? After the chosen ones are delivered into safety by God, then the nations will bring the rest up to Mount Zion like they are ordered to do. They don't have no choices. You think they thinking on their own? None of those dumbasses is thinking on their own. They all just fucking taking orders. Isaiah 18:7. In that time shall the present be brought. What is the present? The black man and woman and child. Unto the Lord of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled. So who was scattered throughout all the nations? The black man. From what? A people terrible. That's what he calling the Gentiles. From their beginning, hitherto. From their making. He created the wicked serpent. A nation meted out and trodden underfoot for 42 months by what? The wicked. The people terrible. Whose land the rivers have spoiled, to the place of the name of the Lord of hosts, the Mount Zion. Take my people to Mount Zion. And then the Philistines and all of the people all around the world, you know, which what they say, Britain is going to play a big part in this, of taking God's chosen people back, because Britain played a big part in the fake Exodus when he was taking the synagogue of Satan over there to Mount Moriah, huh? Pretending like it's Israel, to Palestine. Once all the dispersed of Judah is delivered, then he orders them to attack Israel. Now go attack my people, because then God is going to put their asses out of their miseries. And then he will destroy them and their militaries worldwide, and each one will sink into the fire of hell. Get into it. Ezekiel 38:7. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, you and all your company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited in the latter years, in the end time shalt thou come up into the land that is brought back from the sword. Meaning what? Their captivity got turned. And is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always a waste, so it's desolate. It's been trodden down underfoot by the Gentiles to the time of the Gentiles. Now it is not a waste, because why? We are delivered back into our land. So now he's telling them what to do next. But it's brought back from the forth out of the nations. They shall dwell safely, all of them. Commandment. You can't touch them. But go and see if you can. What do you think all these angry ass bitches are going to do? They're going to go see if they can. To do what? Ezekiel 38:12. To take a spoil. Let's go rape and plumage them. Let's take out all of the gifts and things that God gave them. Because we're supposed to turn the place into what? A garden of Eden. And to take a prey. To turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. How? Safely. They ain't going to be able to do shit to us. And God is going to show them who's in power and control, because they think that they are. And I will call, 38:21, Ezekiel, for a sword against him throughout all my mountains. Kill the Gentile, says the Lord. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. Prepare for war. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and rain upon him and upon his military, his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, all the nations with him, an overflowing rain of great hailstone, fire, and brimstone. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord. And that was going to be my video today or yesterday. I was going to put them brimstones that's passing by in the heavens right now, waiting They there, and everybody's seeing them shining. They seeing the hailstones, the big frozen balls. They seeing it all. You know, they can call them orbs. They can call them whatever the hell they want to. We zoomed in on them, and we know what they are. They are hot, fiery rocks waiting for this moment for their asses. Ezekiel 32:29. I said, what? You had your time, and then you're going to war against God's people. It's going to be a final onslaught, and you are going to be defeated. There is Edom, her kings, and all her princes. What is Edom? The land of the white man, which with their might, their armies, all their military and bands, are laid by them that were slain by the sword. I call for a sword for them all throughout my whole mountains. They shall lie with the uncircumcised, the white man, the Gentile, and with them that go down to the pit, the Gentiles. Why? Because you have 42 and 2 months to have a good time, to do as thou please, to stick your chest out and be prideful, to run down the black man into the ground as far as you can get him in there. Trot him down underfoot, right? And he's telling you what you did. Joel 3:6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where you have sold them. See, we the ensign. We are the mark and the time for war. And will return your recompense upon your own head when he rained down them brimstones on you. Right? And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah. And then he said, your children is going to be slaves to us. You took the children of Israel, he take your children and make slaves out of them. Isaiah 34:8. And like I said, we're Jesus. Surely the children didn't do nothing, huh? We're Jesus. False. Isaiah 34:8. For it is the day of the Lord's revenge. Jesus said he judges no man, huh? But God surely is taking revenge, huh? It's the day of the Lord. You do believe in it, right? The year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. We're Jesus. Obadiah 1:15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the Gentiles, the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. You took us into slavery. You trodden us down. It was a time limit. God said, now yours is going to be double. Thy reward shall be returned upon thy own head. All them brimstones coming down on y'all. And so he gave you an ultimatum from the beginning. You can take the ultimatum now. You can believe Rap the News is telling you 100% the truth of who you are and what's your fate. All of Edom is going to be destroyed. All the Gentiles are going to be destroyed except for the ones who are being taken into slavery and captivity. A handful of ones, the remnant, you are going to show up in shackles and chains, says God. And so you have an ultimatum. Genesis 27:29. You can go back to your church and get watered down again, or you can come to the raw truth. Let people serve thee, and the nations bow down to thee. So he telling y'all nations to do what to the black man? Bow down. Y'all didn't make the right choice from the beginning, and now all this ugly shit didn't happen. Be Lord over thy brethren. That means Jacob is Lord over Esau. Read your scriptures. And let thy mother's son, which is Rebekah, bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curses you, black man, that hates you, that has this perpetual hatred. And blessed be he that blesses you. You know, and the raw truth is not pretty. Genesis 18:18, and there is no Jesus in the raw truth. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Meaning what? His seed. Genesis 22:18, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So all of the nations have to come bow down to the black man and bless him. Not hate him, not talk behind his back, not come in some group on the chat and call them all kind of wicked names and shit and funny ass pictures and making a mockery of them. He didn't tell y'all to do that. You know, he watching everything that y'all doing. He judging you. And your judgment is going to be hard. Slay you by the sword and drag you to hell. John 4:22. You worship you which you know not. We worship what we know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. So if you're not coming through the black man, you ain't getting salvation. And again, if you're waiting for war, when you see the black man being lifted out in a light, then prepare ye for war, because the time is now. The time is up. Let's wrap the news.